Welcome to Explorio. Today, we're going to be talking about the identification of common edible mushrooms. Mushrooms can be a great addition to any meal, but they can also be dangerous if you don't know what you're looking for. We'll be covering the basic types of mushrooms, how to identify them, and how to make sure you're not accidentally eating something toxic, so let's get started. The first step to identifying edible mushrooms is to familiarize yourself with the different types. The most common edible mushrooms are button mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, and porcini mushrooms. Button mushrooms are the most widely available and are recognizable by their small, white caps. Shiitake mushrooms have a unique flavor and are easily identifiable by their dark brown caps. Oyster mushrooms are also recognizable by their caps, which are usually gray or tan. Porcini mushrooms can be a bit harder to identify, but they have a distinctive nutty flavor and can be found in many grocery stores. When you're ready to pick out your mushrooms, it's important to make sure they're firm and not slimy or soft. You should also check for any signs of mold or discoloration. If there are any, it's best to avoid that mushroom. When you're ready to cook your mushrooms, it's important to make sure they're thoroughly cleaned. Mushrooms can contain dirt and debris, so it's best to rinse them off before cooking. You can also use a soft brush to remove any dirt or debris. Once your mushrooms are clean, you're ready to cook. Finally, it's important to remember that not all mushrooms are edible. Some mushrooms can be poisonous, so it's important to make sure you're not accidentally eating something that could make you sick. If you're ever unsure, it's best to avoid eating any wild mushrooms. Even if you think you've identified the mushroom correctly, it's still best to err on the side of caution and avoid eating any wild mushrooms. And that's it. Now you know the basics of identifying common edible mushrooms. Remember, it's important to be sure you're picking the right kind, cleaning them properly before cooking, and avoiding any wild mushrooms that you're unsure of. Thanks for watching, and happy cooking.